into our game number 3 in this first set here.
Super exciting stuff, and there's the audio hit for King Surf again. Thank you. But now, let's see these openings, because I think this is going to tell us a lot. Is how early do we see the military school? It's got to be right away, right? That's what we're expecting, at least. That's become kind of the standard. I think we see the 5 vills on the minimap returning front with the stone, so we're going to see that instant military school out. The question is, do we see the second barracks as well on top?
There we
Going
go.
for
It looks
another
like... Wait, is that the
50
second
stone.
trip?
That's another trip.
That's another trip. That's a mistake.
Or we've seen something like this before. I think there was stone gathered for
Placement,
an emplacement as well, because you have the time.
maybe?
I guess, or maybe he just wants enough stone for both military schools for the second when you get feudal, but that's still not enough. So I think it's the emplacement play, so that he can like tower his gold and feel a little safer. And we see a Vil, I think, on the center for women's and for yellow.
Yeah, from both sides. And actually, both players here are deciding to chop through both Neptune and Louis. And at the same time, we only see yellow. He's actually hiding his villager quite nicely there in that wood line. There we go. Yeah, he's trying to chop through as well. So only one villager on the side of FYF trying to chop through. Meanwhile, 2 villagers on the side of, or like 2 players on the side of Fat Penguin trying to chop towards the middle. And yeah,
I mean, this from Neptune, because that means his wood economy, he could kind of wall it in around the back of it once if he deletes that lumber camp, you know what I mean? But we'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, because looks like Louis got quite lucky with his chop position. He chose a really short path, and he's going to get through pretty quickly here. There's only like 4 more trees, and he's in. Maybe 5.
I mean, both
maybe
players
5
are
there.
almost in from looks of it. You gotta be really, really careful though. You gotta be really active at watching your villager, because if we can select some of the villagers, some of them might actually be close to having 10 wood in the, like, whenever they start chopping a tree, they might micro gathering some wood, because gathering in Age of Empires 4, it goes into the percentiles of like a single resource. So even if you immediately click another tree, it might be that you already gathered like 0.3 wood from the tree. Now we see a Minework Palace actually from the HRE player with a single villager being building it. Or are there more villagers? Maybe there are a couple more villagers and we're just not seeing every single one of them. There we go, just a single tree, and Louis is gonna be through towards the middle. Yeah, it's only one villager.
I think Minework into FC Burgrave with a dock build. Both teams are basically through now. And this is where things get really spicy. Okay, so there's no relic spawning in the center here. Okay, I think maybe I saw one spawn where there were 2 relics in the middle. So the relics are all around the edge. So not securing that outer rim could leave Shiki open to some really crazy Regnance play. Look at that, 5 relics on the south.
There we
This
go.
could
Louis
get nuts,
sending a villager. He's gonna make an outpost, and that's where the 50 bonus stone is gonna come in.
Yeah, absolutely. This first he's gonna try an outpost and stop the chop through, but I don't know if this is gonna work for yellow, because there's a spearman here.
Yeah,
they have the drush.
This is gonna be really, really rough. First stock going up as well, and this already looks like a really, really solid opening here from Team Fat Penguin.
Oh, and he's just gonna wall out the chop now. I mean, you could just kind of keep chopping around. Unless there's a tower there giving you that extra vision, kind of.
Yeah, and you're gonna be able to see if the opponent's going for the chop through, so you know that it's gonna come.
And really smart, adding the gate on top, so he's just gonna throw the spearman through and prevent further chop throughs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we do see the Dome of Faith coming up for both Delhi players, but it looks like only one team is gonna get that Sacred Strike countdown.
Yeah, and only one team is making docks in the middle, and that means that the fishing economy is going to be really helping Team Fat Penguin here out a lot in a little bit as soon as they get some fishing going there. Not Feudal Age yet, so not able to click Sanctity quite yet, but I mean both Delhi players aren't in the Feudal Age yet, so not a big difference here.
My biggest question is the mine work here. So you're not going to have the Aachen Chapel economy for your HRE player. Now, you can play Minework into a Feudal Age, but it's kind of weak. Like, it can work. Like, you could do some crazy stuff, like get Horseman with the early Pierce Armor upgrade, but that's not going to happen, right? So we're definitely just going to see, like, an infantry mass.
Fast castle. This is 100% fast castle. The reason why it's fast castle is because he's only building Minework with a single villager.
Yeah, so he's got a Burgrave, but into what? I guess maybe if he can get there before you could just burn down that little palisade and open the middle up. I guess that's the plan. But
The
is that
issue
going to be in
is
time?
the issue is Sparklers or Hulks, like the Springle ships in general,
Or
just
just
potentially being
walls, like a
there.
lot of walls?
Yeah, walls and the Springle ships. I mean, the HRE player might be able to pretty much kill off a Fat Penguin's economy on the outside of the middle oasis, but the inside is really where it matters. I guess the only thing that you can't get from the inside is gold. There's no gold in the inside of the oasis around the pond.
But I even wonder about the power of the Burgrave here. Like, with what economy? Like,
There's still deer. I mean, if you go over to the deer, you send your prowl with the villagers over to the deer, you can still get a really, really good food income early on. So the potential is still 100% there for the HRE to pump out a lot of units early on. There we go. That's the Burgrave Palace. There's also a lot of sheep behind that scout, so he's going to be able to support his
okay,
economy
yeah.
for quite a while there. That's going to be a lot of men-at-arms going
Yeah.
on, and he really needs to get value with these. Issue is, though, what are you going to do against Springle ships in the middle?
And I love this reaction from Neptune as well, to palisade this side and just be like, okay, like, we're assuming FC, we're assuming potentially the worst, I guess, in air quotes, and there was an attempt to chop, and that actually chop is going to work. There's 2 archers there to support it.
I like that landmark choice here from Louis. He's going for the Sultanahi trade network instead of the twin minaret madras, so he might potentially go for trade as well. On a map like this is definitely possible, because you have the trading outpost on the edges of the map. So very much possible to get some traders out there and just get some bonus gold through there, because you keep the middle, you get a lot of food, potentially a lot of wood, but the gold you can get from the trade network.
Yeah, it's true. This age up is going to be a lot slower to Castle Age. I mean, Louis still not even Feudal Age, right? But with a huge economy behind this, and we'll see when Louis is able to add any ships. We'll see if Neptune maybe adds a ship for him, like 1 arrow ship here could be nice. Maybe you're saying maybe a Hulk. I think both of those are options, but we haven't seen the Sacred Site capture just yet either, although that should be quite soon. I think the timing is in another minute-ish. Depends on how early the mosque is built, and I think it was built instantly.
So villagers being pulled now. In theory, if you are able to get that dock up, you could just get a defensive emplacement up on that dock. And that would already help you a lot when it comes to securing the middle side. There we go. We see a Dow coming out. So Archer ship not having the most amount of damage when it comes to fighting against the men-at-arms. So they're very likely not going to get a whole lot of value when it comes to those men-at-arms coming in. Does have some AoE, and we see a boar pull actually here, a boar lure coming out from Louis, but actually the boar just seems to be taking out his own spearmen there instead of the villagers. Boar was about to take the Dow.
4 on the dock now. Oh my gosh, a lot of bills go down there with that valley. But the dock did go up, another dock could. It's funny, the boar is sieging down this dock in a meaningful way.
It's attacking the Dow!
Oh, it did the Dow!
What? What's going on here?
It's clapping it, so rams can't hit boats, but...
The boar is a different kind of beast.
This boar, yeah, this boar is here to play. Oh my gosh, well he's not here to play, and now we do have the men-at-arms slowly flying across.
Yeah, that's a lot. We can see the conga line. There's the buckler coming out for our English, not English, for our yellow player here. We're so used to calling him English from the last game.
His last game, yeah. Wait, but there's no demo yet. There's no demo in queue either, so this backler is going to kind of have a field day here.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot of value here. Oh, there's the demolition ship in queue right now, but the question is, 2 docks are out. If he gets the emplacement arrows on them, the emplacement upgrades, he's going to be able to just shut down the economy on water here completely. Actually, Demo coming out is going to notice it immediately. Has to split up those bucklers. Bucklers are being split up here. Demo is chasing the weak one. That's the correct call.
Yeah,
able to kill that one. There we go.
Yeah, that buckler's dead. But there's still another one. And the villager, archer, sorry, got down to that shot. The repairs coming in, so the fishing eco is delayed. He's going to have to land a lot of shots with the arrow ship before that demo's going to kill, because the demo isn't going to full shot this. The healing might be enough there. The defensive Dow from Yellow as well. Does his Bagla go down? Nice little micro. He keeps the Bagla alive. That's actually massive, because there's going to be a lot of time for it to heal up, and he's got villagers there as well for the repairs. Looks like they're going to come. Meanwhile, quick wall after quick wall for Neptune, going to try and hold back this man-at-arm flood, which is certainly looking dangerous as wall after wall. This is really risky. The fight for the sea rages on as Yellow able to get a lot of value here from his early ships.
Yeah, villagers running, Skull is healing them up now. But there's a single Sapa here, which might be able to pick off some of these villagers, but Actually, yeah, it was able to pick up one of these
He's
villagers.
healing.
Scholars not healing the right target there. Now we also see, is that a Hulk? Do the Ottomans just make
Yeah.
normal Hulks? Like they get a down
Yeah.
and then it's just a Hulk?
Yeah, the Ottomans get Dows, Hulks, and Demos, and then of course their unique ship, which I don't think the Grand Galley is going to have a ton of value in this little pond. It's much better on the bigger maps where using it as a school can have some value, but not
Looks
really
like
useful
Shiki's in.
here as the Man-at-Arms are in, and that's going to be a lot of eco-idle. Now, we've seen this a lot in the tournament so far. Man-at-Arms in on water maps isn't as big a deal because you have so much fish eco. Oh, but these Devils are just
it
huge!
didn't connect! It didn't connect!
Oh,
he manually
he
exploded
manually-
it. Yeah, and that
He
just...
manually...
It doesn't really work that well if you manually make
No,
them explode.
you have to
Oh,
right-click.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That
actually
hurts.
massive.
Yeah.
And the
just-
food eco isn't shut down for teal. So Neptune gonna be able to continue to afford stuff. Just stuff in general. Multiple
He has
plural
to
stuff.
start getting damage here, and he is in the wood line. He's killing a lot of villagers here. A lot of
Ooh.
outposts did go up, but a lot of villagers went down, making these outposts. More and more villagers going down, and now we actually see also some emplacements coming up on these outposts. But these men-at-arms, because he went for the Minework Palace, he was able to afford these upgrades much, much sooner. The +2 armor on his men-at-arms, and he's able to just dive under these outposts. And he could actually just burn down the outposts with those men-at-arms and kill the villagers inside of him.
Yeah, I mean this is so much eco damage. The game plan here from Shiki has definitely worked. Like you said, he's using the deer and just trying to speed through it. There's a bit of a clock there if they don't win the water, but if they do win the water, or even if they keep killing vills like this, that clock isn't going to matter nearly as much because they're still down quite a lot of eco units.
Yeah, it's still down quite a bit in the economy, but at the same time, H3 economy is working quite efficiently. There have been no emplacements coming up from on these docks yet, which I would have really liked to see. I think just some emplacements there would have really secured a lot of the water here, and could have potentially even won them the water. It's just it kills the Dows so easily and does a lot of damage to the fishing ships as well.
Yeah, the Hulk there, with some damage against the docks, should be okay. The docks also have less HP on this patch. There were changes to naval, remember? So the Hulk has more bonus damage against the arrow ships, and the arrow ships have... Oh, sorry, and the dock has a little less HP, so you can actually see the docks going down pretty quickly to the Hulks.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, the Man-at-Arms just absolutely shrekking the land eco, but more fishing boats get made, and the wood lines are still up, and the economy for Louis under pressure, but he's up to Castle Age.
The Delhi player now also on the side of FYF. The Delhi player yellow is also aging up now to the Castle Age. So Louis, he also just aged up to the Castle Age. He dropped down a couple of archer ranges, and now we see that he's making a lot of crossbows here, and he can really afford the crossbows right now because he has that water economy, because he's getting all that food out of that. Oh, chop through actually, they're on that wall. The men-at-arms might be able to go in here. Question is, will they be able to achieve anything here? Because he has so many just attack ships there in the middle.
He's going to be able to idle the entire wood economy in here, because they hid eco in here, and I don't think the arrow ships or the attack ships are going to defend any of Louis' villagers that are in the middle there. Now, he does have a small military that should be able to help, and it looks like he's prioritizing the sacred sites. There's 5 minutes left on the sacred site timer.
Not a lot of time here, and the ships are going to be able to defend that.
Oh, I just realized how genius that was. Building the armory in the middle was super important here. They're just going to try and camp in here and win with the timer. And if he had built the armory on the outside, there's no guarantee it would stay alive. But I think with the eco here, with the ships there, I don't think it's going to go down in Delhi, using its mechanics to just wall out these entrances. And it looks like all the men-at-arms die in the middle there. And now, what's the entrance? Louis up to Castle Age.
That's a lot of production here. We got 4 stables, every single stable with a scholar inside, so that's a total of like 8 stables in theory when it comes to the production speed of them. But is he gonna have the economy in order to produce knights 24/7 out of all of those stables? I heavily doubt it, but they really need to decap one of these sacred sites soon here. What they could do in theory is they could make some Springles. Springles actually deal really, really well with ships. With the range and everything, they could take back water with that. They have the military, they just need to attack from the correct angle.
They have the army mass. They've like basically completely rinsed the land. Oh, that's a lot of crossbows though
Yeah,
now.
they
From
might be actually be able to take some really good fights here against those
not really
men-at-arms.
though. As he takes a very bad fight, gets kind of clapped there on the side.
There's still so
Able to
many
keep
Nipu
5
though.
alive.
And let's not forget, behind this, Louis
The
has the
timer.
superior food income. Not just the timer, but also food income. He's just going to be able to keep spamming those crossbows.
I think we're gonna see a keep in the middle in a second here. The compound probably gave him enough stone at this point to drop a pretty spicy keep on one of these sacred sites, but
the
I
archer
don't know if it's
ships,
gonna
though.
go up with all the archer ships.
Yeah, that's going to be the question here. If he's going to be able to get that up in time. The AoE just on those villagers doing an amazing job here.
Ooh.
He's... Oh, God, that... Yeah, I mean, we can see that even the knights are getting melted now with all the amount of ships that are there.
Yeah, this is... I don't know if they're gonna get there in 3 minutes. Like, the land economy is still functioning on the side of Fat Penguin. I don't think FYF is gonna get in, and the keep is gonna try and go up.
The mangonel!
The mangonel's that free mangonel. If he just moves up and kills the vills, this is GG, I think.
If only.
There's 3 minutes left.
There he goes. Now he's moving, and all the villagers there are weak from the archer shots earlier.
Oh, this could be a really
He's
big
falling
splat.
back.
He noticed it just in time, able to retreat, but this means the keep doesn't go up. A couple more arrow shots land, and so many vills are low. The spa, he's solo, gonna just kind of kill those vills, and I think... Are they gonna be able to hold the sacred sites here? They have to find a way to kill the armory, or
Where's
decap the sacred
Shiki's army
sites.
mass right now? He has 30 men-at-arms, but they're all just out across the map. And really, I feel like they could have just pushed through with Springles. If they just made Springles, sent them in the middle, they could have dealt with the ships in a solid, like, static kind of push kind of way.
Just looking at the mini-map, you could just see there's kind of like a ring of yellow and red units spiraling around the oasis, trying to find a way in. They're like knocking on the door, like, let me in, you know, when you're... If you have like a dog or a cat and they're outside the door and they're just like pawing on the door, scratching at it, trying to enter, they're just like, let me in, I want to be in this room with you. And
More
this
and more
kind
walls
of
going
feels
up.
like what FYF is trying to be like, here's a huge mass of men-at-arms, but this wall up is gonna hold them out. There's enough ships now with enough damage. I don't see how this gets decapped in 2 minutes.
Yeah, me neither. And now
I
the
mean,
men-at-arms are in,
maybe
but... Maybe on the south, but even then, like, all the military ships are now just panning over there, and with this many archer ships, like, the AoE is just really, really dangerous. Actually not finishing up that other, that second part of the wall, only now going for it, actually. Is he gonna go for it? Yeah, there he goes. Sends the villager through, now finishes up that wall. Crossbowmen are gonna be there in time. Are the crossbows gonna be enough? In theory, 80 military units right now compared to 56 on FYF side, and the crossbows, they're just decimating it. The archer ships, they're getting all the AoE there, and... This is really, really difficult to push.
So much. It's funny, they do like 1 damage, I think. They are tickling the men-at-arms. But it's enough with that many shots.
Tickling somebody to death is not a fate that I would want to experience.
Death by tickle is not a friendly way to go, but I mean, it's better than death by sacred site? I don't know, like you gotta try, right? Like you gotta do something. Look how many fishing... This is such a cluster
Now
truck
Stonewall! They have nothing to get past the stone wall, that's it. They see
No
the stone wall,
rams.
they're gonna call it.
Yeah, there's no rams on this side
There's
yet, although they
no
could
way
maybe
you get
try and...
through that.
No way. Yeah.
That is GG.
And here's all the airships. I would love to see like a demo or two, but not gonna happen here. The airships really do like no damage here. It's quite
Yeah.
funny.
There we go.
And
Shiki's
here's
the first one to
And
call it.
GG gets called. And what a masterpiece by a Fat
Yeah.
Penguin. I think that they had the strategy, and I'm a little confused. We said this at the start, right? We said Ottomans are going to try and secure the middle. HRE would try and like kind of use resources and win in that castle timing, right? And Ottomans secured the middle. The water boom came in, and it felt like FYF really had no comeback ideas. They didn't really understand what they needed to do. And I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying there's got to be something there. And I think the really big thing was by building that armory in the middle as well, it eliminated the potential for the elimination victory, right? Like basically they said, you have to come to the middle and you have to stop this timer. And they just couldn't. I think a big deal was also some of those demo connections on the water early were really critical. Not landing that shot against the 2 Hulks when he manually detonated. Like, we're talking about these little details, but I think those mattered quite a lot, right? Like winning or losing the water would have made all the difference there, right? Like you don't hold the sacred sites if you don't have that big navy, right? Like you just don't. They didn't have the military for it. They wouldn't have held it. And they were able to hold the water, able to hold the sacred sites. Super clean, super fun. That was a pleasure to watch, but super chaotic as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of core mistakes that I would like to call out here on the side of FYF. I think that if they only just gotten the emplacements, like our yellow player, he placed 2 docks immediately on the middle side as soon as they got through. If he upgraded those with the emplacements, I think he could have shut down the entire water economy because the pond, it's not really big. It's not a big pond. And those emplacements, they do a lot of static damage. It still takes a while to take down these docks, and if you still make military units behind that, you're going to be able to take that middle pond. And that middle pond was really what won the game here for Fat Penguin. All of these ships in the middle, all of the water economy. We can see the economy here, really, really big for Louis here. Shiki, he still had a really good economy just with HRE, with the prelate buffing, and just getting a lot of food from the deer. He was able to keep up with that, but he could have contested a lot more over on the side of Fat Penguin if he just upgraded those dogs. And then when it came the time of like the static push on the middle, if we had Sprinkles there, because Sprinkles actually they do massive damage, they still do a huge amount of damage to those ships, it would have given them something to just be able to contest the water army that was out there.